The number of confirmed deaths has passed 200. The governor has called a state of emergency.
There are hundreds and hundreds of bodies lining the streets.
Panic spread worldwide after a leaked report from the World Health Organization showed that the latest vaccination tests have failed.
With the bureaucrats out of power, we can finally take the necessary steps.
Los Angeles is now the latest city to be placed under martial law. All residents are required to report to their designated quarantine. Riots have continued for a third consecutive day, and winter rations are at an all-time low.
A group calling themselves the Fireflies have claimed responsibility for both attacks.
Their public charter calls for the return of all branches of government.
Demonstrations broke out following the execution of 6 more alleged Fireflies.
You can still rise with us. Remember, when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. Believe in the Fireflies.
Releasing in 2013, Naughty Dog's The Last of Us revolutionized the industry. The Last of Us original released on June 14th, 2013 on the PS3, winning over 32 awards. It's safe to say this game is very, very, very much liked. Soon after it released, it soon got 3 remakes, a sequel that got its own remake, and on January 15th, 2023, The Last of Us got a show based on the video games. Now, looking at all of these achievements, it was safe to say the game got my attention, so I began to play. And on March 29th, I finished The Last of Us main story, including DLC Left Behind. From the opening to the credits, I got more than just what I expected, some zombies and chaos. I was given 2 stories. The main and most obvious one being how Joel was given a second chance to save and have a daughter. And the less and not so obvious one was how nature took over the world. No. Before you come at me with your pitchforks and your Dubai chocolate and your pipe bombs, let me explain. Nature in The Last of Us shows how time has passed, how nature fights back, the cordyceps, how cities being reclaimed by nature, the beauty versus danger, and how it also reflects Joel and Ellie's relationship and their growth. And for example, the giraffe scene, it's a big scene that shows how nature, focusing on the animals of nature, are out and free, no longer in cages. And it's a very calm and quiet moment that reminds you that not everything is lost. At the start of the game, we see cities falling apart. There are clear signs, like roads are cracked and covered in plants, buildings are breaking down and collapsing, streets are flooded, homes are empty and untouched. This shows that humans are no longer in control. In real life, this actually happens. When people leave a place, plants and animals slowly take it back. Grass grows through concrete and trees spread over time. The game shows this in a realistic way. My bad. I meant that it shows you in a realistic way, because it does. It reminds us that humans don't fully control nature. We just borrow space from it. And it's not just that. It also demonstrates how in the beginning of the game, it shows you how the world lost immediately. I mean, there's literal buildings that are tipped over and how everything's flooded inside, breaking. There's a lot of decay. That's the first stage of humanity losing, and how nature is telling the story of The Last of Us. It's telling you humans lost. And yeah, there's some other ways we lost, but this is some things and effects that we get from losing. The infection in The Last of Us is not made up science. It is based on real fungus called Orthocordyceps Orthocordyceps lateralis. You know what? Here's what it says. In real life, this fungus infects ants. It takes control over their bodies and makes them move in ways that help the fungus spread. The game takes this idea and imagines it happening to humans. We can see the proof in the game. Fungus growing out of infected bodies, spores in the air, people slowly losing control of themselves. This makes the story feel more real. The danger doesn't just come from something fake, it comes from true nature itself. Nature isn't trying to be evil, it's just doing what it's supposed to do, what it always does: survive and spread. And it's very, very clear. Now, I'm not talking how the zombie apocalypse took over the world, I'm talking about the actual nature of it. How it's a real fungus and it spread how it normally would. This helps convey the story and tell you humans lost again because of nature, because we heated up the world too much and cordyceps took over. The weather and places in the game also match how characters feel. For example, rain often appears during sad or heavy scenes, and quiet forests show how calm and thinking moments. Empty places make things feel lonely. This helps the player feel the story without needing a lot of talking. Instead of saying, this is sad, this is depressing, or this is lonely, the game shows you it through the world, through the nature. The nature becomes a way to show emotion. And it's very, very, very well shown by the sky, the weather, and how the plants look. In some scenes where you lose a character, everything feels, well, dead and sad. Exactly in the scene where the character dies. The world in The Last of Us can look beautiful. We see bright sunlight through trees, green plants and flowers, overgrown plants, vines, trees, flowers, and fungus everywhere. Animals move freely. At the same time, it's dangerous. There are infected in buildings, weak structures that can collapse any moment. Very, very few supplies to survive. This shows something important. Nature is not safe or unsafe. It's both. It's a clear way to see that humanity lost. And the game backs it up by literally giving you barely enough resources to make weapons or medkits. It's a clear way to show it can look peaceful but still be deadly. The game keeps reminding that to us. It reminds us non-stop. As the game goes on, we see something interesting. Life doesn't stop. It keeps going. We see animals returning to cities, plants growing everywhere, cleaner environments without pollution. This also happens in real life. For example, in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, people left after a disaster, but animals came back. Nature kept going, even without humans. The game shows that idea and the same concept, but the world doesn't need us to survive. It already is surviving, because plants live on no matter what. Nature lives on. The world still has water, air, and sunlight, and many, many more things plants need to grow. And they do. They grow perfectly. Not because we're managing them and taking care of them, but because nature saw a chance to finally take back the world it rightfully owns, and it's world. And nature took it. It took back the lands, it freed animals, and that's why nature in The Last of Us tells the story. Or if not, it helps tell the story of The Last of Us. Because nature is the freaking story of The Last of Us.